Minutes with C. Mark and John Mark from Warren and Griffin, and those few minutes begin right now, and here they are. C. Mark, John Mark, good to see you both.
And it's good to be alive and be in Tennessee.
It certainly is. No question about it.
I almost have that memorized.
Okay, well,
we've done this 2 or 3 times before.
Yeah.
Hey, every year about this time, we get you guys to come in and talk about the 100 deadliest days of summer. You've got some pretty amazing statistics to back
as you see them on the screen right now, a 43% increase in teenagers accidents and deaths during June, July, and August. From Memorial Day to Labor Day, we see an uptick in car accidents involving our teenagers.
Big question, why?
Well, if you think about it, if you have this time of year, the kids aren't in school.
Right.
They're out driving around, so they're on the road, more than they would normally be going to and from school. They have their buddies in the car with them, and that's one of the biggest things with distracted driving too for teenagers. Inexperience in driving, and then you add a bunch of passengers, and suddenly you're listening to music, you're talking, you're chatting, and you're not paying attention to the road.
And every one of those kids in the car has a cell phone.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
and really, that is the main indicator of a problem. As a parent, you want to ask your teenage drivers, how many passengers are you going to have in the car? Each time you add a passenger, you increase the risk of a car accident because of teenagers in the car, windows rolled down, music turned up, and their phone is out. Check out this new video on TikTok.
Now, contrary to what many of you think, we were all teenagers once, and we all went through the same thing.
Yes.
But we didn't have cell phones.
We didn't have cell phones, but we still had the same distractions during summertime, right?
You have that carefree attitude.
Yes.
Got my good friends here with me, and the
Exactly.
devil may care kind of attitude.
And amazingly, one of the things that, when we were kids, people didn't wear seat belts. There was nobody telling you to buckle your seat belt. That's one of the things we see now with teenagers. They're all packed in the car, and they're not wearing seat belts.
And I don't understand why they're not wearing seat belts. Because seat belts are just so automatic.
Yes.
In our mind, you get in the car, you buckle up, period.
Right.
But they get in the car, the buckle's already in the car. They just sit down on top of it, and drive that way. So,
oftentimes,
And my theory is it's easier to get to your cell phone if you're not buckled in. You can get to it in your purse, you get to your pockets, so I think it's a side effect of getting the cell phone out.
Over 5 years, the past 5 years, over 3,500 people have died in car wrecks related to teen driving. That's not talking about adult driving, that is strictly teenage driving. 3,500. That's just way, way too many. And
parents can be more proactive on this. And I hate to use this as an example, but it is one. Whenever as a parent you see a teenager die in a crash, that's a good opportunity to sit down with your teenager and tell them how you would feel if that article was about that teenage driver, and go over rules of the road with the teenager. Seatbelts, number one, distracted driving, put the telephone away.
Right.
Number of passengers.
Yeah, that's a tragedy for the family of the child involved, or multiple children involved, or teenagers. But it is a learning moment that parents can take advantage of. And that's one of the things, the legislature can only do so much to try to make us buckle up, to make us be safe. Parents need to lead by example, and they also need to set up a program to where there's consequences for the kids' actions if they're not buckling up, if they're not safe, if they're using the phone while they're driving.
I was going to ask both of you, you've raised teenagers during the era of cell phones. How did you discuss with your children the dangers of this?
Okay, well, just like I said, if I saw a tragedy on the news or in the paper, I would sit down with my young drivers and talk about what happened. Right. A lot of times that teenage driver was not wearing a seatbelt. I mean, if you look, really, it's rare that you actually unbuckle someone that's passed away in a car accident. Usually, no seatbelt. Right. That's why they passed away. So number one, seatbelts. And because there's always an element of were they wearing a seatbelt, were they speeding? Right. Sometimes, you can talk about speed.
Excessive speed's a thing.
Sometimes you can talk about using the cell phone. Maybe, it's an opportunity to talk about the dangers.
And multiple types of distracted driving. Not only the cell phone, but eating while you're driving, music too loud, windows down, too many passengers in the car, sharing videos, video and photographing, etc. We know what kids do, and those things all contribute to distracted driving and accidents.
All right.
On our social media page, we have a parent-teen agreement. That
I was leading into that.
That we think alike. Great minds sometimes think alike, man. So there is on our social media page, you can go to our WG Facebook page. We have an agreement that you can sit down with your teenage driver and go over that step by step.
You can set up consequences for not following the rules, taking away the car, taking away the cell phone, all those things which can help reduce the chance of distracted driving.
So what's in it for the young driver that does follow the rules?
You can reward them. I mean, you do the same thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm seeing something here about a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card that you guys are giving.
That's it. If you take that's it. If you take the pledge, if you take the agreement, and circle back around to our Facebook page, we'll give you a $10 gift card from Chick-fil-A.
Very good.
But that gift card is not good on Sundays.
Yeah, you were correct. Great job you guys are doing about helping all of us learn the dangers of the 100 deadliest days of summer. And it seems like the statistics get worse and worse every year despite all of our best efforts. So hopefully one of these days we'll see that curve going in the other direction.
Yes, sir.
See Mark, John Mark, always a pleasure to see you both. Find out more about these two great guys and the great work their firm is doing. WarrenandGriffin.com, WarrenandGriffin.com.